We are up to being clean from desires. The sister of envy is the trait of desiring and coveting. He says that the sages tell us that it's very normal that a person has to work on his desires. He says that till the day you die, your desires come with you, as the sages tell us in Kohelet Rabbah Midrash. En adam met, hatzit tavato biyado. No person dies possessing even half of his desires. Meaning, no matter how long you live, you're always going to have desires, and no man dies without even fulfilling even half of his desires. Most of the time, they feel half unfulfilled. But there's two main branches when it comes to desires. He says, desire for money. And the second one is kavod, the desire for honor. Both of them, if they're extremely detrimental to a person, and when he has too much of an uncontrolled desire for either one of them, and they cause many, many harms to that person. For example, hemdat mamon, the desire for money. It makes you a prisoner of the physical world. Puts the shackles of hard work and business on his arms. We said that Paro, he made us do slave labor in Egypt. But how did he do it? The perach. He did it with a soft mouth, which means he tricked us. He told you, you're going to be happy, I'm going to help you, we're going to make money, everything's going to be great. Slowly, before you knew it, they were slaves. The people, they joined the rat race to get rich or die trying, as they say. And they say that what? That they're what? They ended up being that they try. Let me just make some money. Let me go and just go be successful a little bit, and then it never ends. They want more and more and more. In the end, you never can get off the hamster wheel. You never can get off and say it's enough. You continue and continue and continue, and you become like a slave. Kinyan Katuv, as the pasuk says, Oev kesef, lo yizba kesef. Whoever loves money will never be satiated with money. You can have a lot of money, doesn't mean you love money. But you look at it, money is just a tool. It's a hammer. I have a lot of hammers. I have a lot of ability, potential to do stuff. But it doesn't mean that I sit there and I love it, and I go like this to it, and I say, oh, amazing. And what? He says, I want more and more. He looks at his Chase account, he sees the millions. No, I need to have more. I need to be on the higher part of the list of the Forbes. All these things he does desire for honor and money. That's what it means, that you won't be ever satiated. And then it takes away the person's livelihood. The person's livelihood could take away from his service of Hashem. This is that he desires for more and more money. He has enough money, so he could close the shop right now and go home and have what he needs. He just wants to be open for longer so he can make more and more. What about learning? What about davening? What about your connection to Hashem? What about being honest in business? What about the Olam Haba? Not so much. Why? Because his love for the money takes him away. He says, Kama tefilot ne'evdod, how many prayers are lost due to the love for money? Kama mitzvot nishkachot, how many mitzvot are forgotten? Vigat hamon haschora, person works too hard, he comes home tired, he doesn't want to be involved with mitzvot, doesn't want to go pray. The sages tell us, Lo me'ever layamhi, Torah is not on the other side of the sea. What does it mean the Torah is not on the other side of the sea? Torah is not usually found by those who go to the other side of the sea for business. The people who travel a lot, the people who are going all over the world, they have barely time to learn Torah. The Torah is not found by them. Lo kol hamarbe b'schora mahkim, as Pirkei Avot tells us, not the one who engages excessively in commerce is not going to be wise in Torah. Meaning, if a person is overly involved in his life, overly involves his life in business, his life is all about making money, it is very hard for him to become close to the Torah and really know Torah. Especially the physical, not the physical working today. A lot of times it's not the physical work today. It used to be that people used to do real labor. There's a guy who told me, Rabbi, many years ago, we used to have 10 fingers. It means 10 different jobs. Today, we have 10 fingers. We put it in our mouth and we say, give me. Right? The person is not working with his hands so much anymore. Today, we work with our brain. But what happens? The anguish, the anxiety, the stress of keeping up with everything we have to keep up in our brain, that itself tires us out. That itself destroys us. And therefore, a person who says, I have to make more, and I have to make like that guy, and I have to have like that guy, it gives him an anxiety that he cannot swallow, he cannot handle it, even when he's sitting to learn. Rabbi, I made it to the shiur. I'm sorry, but I was on my phone the whole time. I'm sorry, but my mind wasn't even here. I didn't even understand what you were talking about. I'm sorry, Rabbi, I wasn't following. Why? Because all the anxiety from all his stress of his work and thinking and worrying, what's going to be and how am I going to do it and all this stuff, takes him away from even being present with his family, present with his friends, present with the Torah. As the sages tell us, Marbe Nechasim, Marbe Daga, the one who increases possession, increases anxiety to the point where what? He says, Ma'aver Pamim Rabot Mitzvot Torah, this anxiety can cause a person to do what? To go and do sins. And then even to the point where even to the point where he doesn't use common sense anymore. He does wacky things he does for the sake of calming his anxiety. Today a lot of people, God forbid, can be on a medicine to treat their anxiety. But what? The Torah gives us already a healing method, which is emunah, realizing anxiety, you think everything is in your control. You give it up to Hashem, and you realize that a person will have all his anxiety taken care of. Because when you worry, Hashem says, you worry. But when you let Hashem worry, you say, Hashem, I'm not worrying. You worry. Hashem says, don't worry, I'll take care about it.